What is up, YouTube foilers? It is Quinn, or just the wingtips, and it's been a while since I've made a video, and since my GoPro is broken, I thought why not make a review video on one of my favorite foils, the Kujira 980. One way to sum up this wing is that it turns the average foiler into a ripper. It is so smooth through turns and doesn't have any problem hitting the foam. I definitely felt it allowed me to take more of a surfing approach to sections that are usually terrifying on the foil. As far as intuitiveness, or will it go first session with no tweaks, it is a 10 out of 10. Myself and everyone I've let try this setup have all said how stable and natural it felt from the first wave. I will mention that I'm riding it with the 220 tail and aluminum mast, so I don't need to base plate shim like I would on the carbon mast. I would say a big component to the stability is the longer fuse. With that being said, the long fuse does not hinder the setup's carving ability. I give this wing an 8.5 out of 10 carving because I'm not sure how it gets any better than this, but I gotta leave room for the possibility. Before I go any further into this review, I will mention that I'm basing these ratings off of riding this wing in the right conditions, and I'd say for someone in the 165 to 190 pound range, anywhere from about knee to chest high is ideal on this wing. Anything bigger is a bit overpowering because this wing is actually projected area, so it is a bit bigger than 980 square centimeters and has a lot of lift. But I really enjoy the front foot pressure and it makes for some really good low end. So stall speed, I give it an 8 out of 10, and then just some random stats I'm going to throw out. Snappiness, 7 out of 10. Again, that longer fuse will make the turning radius a bit wider, but you can still get pretty vertical on it, hit some foam, got good release. I really like it. Glide, 6 out of 10. Mid-aspect wing, so you can't expect anything close to the newer high aspects on the market. But in good, clean conditions, I could probably 6 for one it, so I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10, considering that probably a good pumping wing, probably 10 for one. Yeah, 6 out of 10 there. That's pretty fun to downwind, but only when it's pumping. I'm like around 190 pounds, so kind of pushing it on that, but it's definitely worth ripping some hard turns in the middle of the ocean. Next up, speed. I give it a 6 out of 10. It's pretty slow, but personally I think that's where the magic is in this wing and why it surfs so well. Just paces better with certain waves and it helps you stay in the pocket. You don't need to burn as much speed before you do like a hard turn. I think that's nice. Some people might like to go fast, but I think I just like to cruise and surf. It's really what it comes down to. And lastly is the cost to quality ratio. I give this setup a 7.5 out of 10. This is based on the aluminum kit, which runs around $1,400 US. Get yours at thefoilshop.com. But as far as front wing durability goes, it's really sturdy. I ran it into sandbars, hit rocks, drug it across the reef, and it's been pretty much fine. The only thing to look out for is if you do hit the right piece of reef and it hits one of those tubercles, it does have pretty high potential to chip. You could just slap some Solarez on there and it's good as new. And the only real issues I ran into are just me problems where I'm not taking apart the gear and washing it off how you should, especially with aluminum. It's going to corrode, things are going to seize. Another thing that people mention is the mast to fuse connection is a little bit wobbly. So far I haven't ran into any issues with that, and I don't think that it's a problem, and the wing feels fine to me. But some people have modified that connection to be as sturdy as possible, or like one piece essentially as the carbon setup is. Overall, this foil is for someone looking for an affordable, easy, stable setup that rips and just does what it's supposed to. The cons though, it's not the easiest to pump, it's slower, speed's something you're into, fuse to wing connection could be better. It only has a long fuse option, which might be a deal breaker for some people, and the wingtips are super sharp, so if you want to be safe, you have to DIY chop your brand new foil, which a lot of people aren't into, but I highly recommend it because I've had some very close calls and some ripped wetsuits. But overall, this is an amazing foil, and no matter what you're riding, just have fun. Keep on frothing. You.